Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Shred, and this is my in-depth look and breakdown of Lidia. Now, if you haven't already watched the gameplay trailer that we got a few days ago, there is a ton of new information that we got about her, how she's going to play, all the moves that carried over from Tekken 7, which are a lot, and also a lot of new moves that are coming in, and also some old moves that now have new options. I am super stoked about this character. I would consider myself a Lidia loyalist. I mained her in Tekken 7. She's my favorite character to play. Going to main her throughout Tekken 8, and there's a lot of really cool new things that they added, including a new stance. And make sure to stick around to the very end where I'm actually going to go over a few cultural references that they made to Lidia. They did a really good job of actually looking into Polish culture. And so we'll go over that, including some of the translations from her notebook and what the words mean and how to pronounce them during her rage art. And last, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button and follow me on Twitter too. I'm pretty active over there. I worked really hard on this video. It actually took a really long time, so I'd really appreciate if you guys would subscribe. Now, before we actually get into the footage, there is a couple of references you need to know from Tekken 7, which are her stances. So this is Catfoot stance 1, Catfoot stance 2, Heaven and Earth stance, and Pouncing Tiger Stalking Wolf. Make sure to pay attention to the notations on the bottom of the screen because I'm going to put them in acronyms, and sometimes it's hard because I'll say Catfoot stance 2, 2. So it might feel a little confusing. So let's go over the first sequence of combos in the Lidia trailer. Starting off with a new While Rising hop kick, which goes straight into 1-1-2 Catfoot stance 2 to 4-4, which is taken directly out of Tekken 7. Now this next sequence is really cool because you get a first glimpse at her new stance, which I'm assuming comes off of forward 4-2. Now before, forward 4-2 would go into Catfoot stance 1, or you could press down forward 2, which would go into Catfoot stance 2. But in this, it goes into new stance to spinning back hop kick to a forward 1+2. Now this next sequence also brings in a new option from her back step from Catfoot stance 2. Before, you can only do a Catfoot stance 2 to a back step and then press 2 for a lunging fist. But she now has a new kick option from backstep, which looks like she went into Catfoot stance 2 and followed up with a 1+2. But now that 1+2 actually leads into a Pouncing Tiger Stalking Wolf, and she hits a 2. Now this new sequence is cool because it's the down back 3 into her new stance. Because in Tekken 7, you would do a down back 3, and if you're in front of them and knock them down, you can press 1 and it would lead into a follow-up punch. But now this leads into a new stance in which I'm assuming she follows it up with a 2, which now also leads into Pouncing Tiger Stalking Wolf, in which she follows it up with 4. Now the second sequence of combos was really cool with Jin because we got to see a lot of the parries that carried over from Tekken 7. Now straight out of Tekken 7, we get to see the 1-2-3 to a down back 3-4, which is a low parry. And if you hit 1 and land it, it has a further attack, and then she just ends it with a forward 3. All this is taken directly out of Tekken 7. And also this punch parry, which is a back 1-3, and if you connect correctly, you can hit 2-1-2. Also something directly out of Tekken 7. I'm actually hoping that because Tekken 8 is such an aggressive game, that these parries will have either a longer window or possibly just be a punch parry rather than a right punch parry. Now this sequence is really cool because she has her While Rising 4-2, but now goes into Catfoot stance 2, in which she follows it up with 3, but then she does her down forward 1-2 parry, which looks to be pretty quick. And if you hit 2, it has a follow-up attack, which she actually is able to go into Catfoot stance 2 and follows it up with 1. And here's the animation for her heat burst. But one thing I do want to point out is that if you notice, her stances are straight up just stance to stance to stance to stance. Like she will do one attack to a stance, to another attack, to another stance, which you have seen a lot before. It's really, really cool. She's just now a stance monster. She had a lot of really good stances in Tekken 7, but now she's just stance to stance to stance. Like everything leads to the next stance, which leads to the next stance. It's craziness. Now on to the third and final combo sequence against Reina. This was my favorite sequence because not only does it show new moves, new properties of old moves, but also the properties of what happens when she's in heat. So this is a brand new combo which leads to an armored pouncing tiger stalking wolf 1. Now it is blocked, which looks like it puts Reina in a frame trap, and then she gets to follow it up with a down 3-1, and a new 3rd hit combo ender is added to the combo. Now this was a really cool sequence. So Lidia gets what looks like to be an armored forward 2, or it could be a back forward 2, but I'm probably going to assume it's forward 2, into her new stance, which follows up with a 3-hit combo, and then you get to see her go into heaven and earth, and then follows it up with a new 2-hit combo. Now with this heat property, she does what looks like a forward 2, or it could be a while running 2, but either way it puts her into heaven and earth, and when she follows it up with heaven and earth 1+2. Now this sequence was super cool because you get to see the properties of heaven and earth possibly while she's in heat, because Reina connects and all it does is just not attack and then keeps her or puts her right back into heaven and earth stance, in which she follows it up with a new pop-up. The pop-up gives her enough time to actually go into her new stance, which goes into pouncing wolf stalking tiger 2, and then she follows it up with a down 4-2, which is now a tornado, and ending the combo with her famous combo ender back 3-4 quarter circle forward 1+2. Now this last combo sequence is coming off of a heat dash, which leads to her back 2-3 and then a back 1+2 into a new combo sequence that kind of looks similar to a forward 4-3-4, and then ends with a brand new combo sequence. This one was pretty cool just because we get to see a couple of new combos. And last we get to finish up with her rage art, which is actually a great segue into the Polish culture references that they actually make towards Lidia. Now, I actually grew up next door to Polish immigrants, and one of my good friends, Natza, who we play fighting games a lot, he lives in Poland. He actually helped me out a lot with the translations and understanding Polish culture and exactly what they did to capture what it means to be Polish in this character. Now in her rage art, you get to see 3 words, and these 3 words actually are really good at capturing what it actually is to be Polish. And forgive me if I butcher these words. The first word is ludzie, which means people. And the second word is pokój, which means peace. And the third word is uczciwość, which means honesty or fair play. Which not only sums up Lidia, but just kind of sums up what it is to be Polish, because they're very community oriented. The people of Poland love their country very much. And so these 3 words were actually great to summarize a political leader of Poland. And then for one of her outros, Lidia pulls out a book where there's a bunch of treats in there. Now, apparently it's very, very Polish to obsess over food, which is just like most other countries that have unique foods. But writing in a, quote, leather-bound notebook with a fountain pen is about as Polish as you can get. It would actually be very weird if a Polish person was taking notes in a smartphone. And the fact that she has pictures with notes in her notebook is also a super Polish thing to do, because they like to write down exactly how things tasted and write little stories about what it is that they were eating. So it's just these little tidbits that you see, like if you go into different cultures and see the different things that they do, because it would be weird for us to actually, as Americans, to write down things in a notebook with a fountain pen. But for people of Poland, this is actually pretty normal. It's actually very traditional to do so. And she's writing like little stories about it. So that is my in-depth look at Lidia. She is my favorite character, as I said before, and so this was actually really fun, but it took a long time for me to put this video together with all the editing that I had to do. So thanks again for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Until next time, this is Shred. Out.